You shouldn't exist. And that makes you extraordinary. Imagine the universe running a lottery for 13.8 billion years. Intelligent life is the winning ticket, so rare that most draws come up empty. But somehow, impossibly, you're here. Then the real lottery began. The probability of your specific sperm meeting your specific egg was 1 in 400 trillion. But that's nothing compared to the odds of your parents meeting at exactly the right moment, or their parents crossing paths when they did. Going back just 10 generations, your existence required roughly 1,000 perfect coincidences happening in precisely the right sequence. Yet here you are, a collection of atoms that became aware of itself, capable of contemplating the very impossibility of your own existence. I've spent months of my life digging into contradictions like this. I've read countless books, talked to philosophers, trying to understand how we stay sane inside a world built on logical impossibilities. And what I found changed how I see everything. In this video, we're going down a rabbit hole of 5 paradoxes, each one more mind-bending than the last. The first begins with choices you make every day. And by the 5th, you'll be questioning the fundamentals of existence itself. My name is Oscar Emerson. Welcome to The Opening. You walk into a grocery store to buy jam. 24 varieties line the shelf. You read labels, compare prices, weigh options. 15 minutes later, you leave empty-handed. Meanwhile, your friend walks into another store, 6 jars on the shelf. She grabs strawberry in 30 seconds and enjoys it at breakfast. Psychologists Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper studied this exact scenario and found something counterintuitive. More choice doesn't help you decide. It paralyzes you. Here's why. Your prefrontal cortex can juggle about 7 things at once. 6 jam options. Easy. 24? Too many. Your brain can't hold all the comparisons, so it defaults to shortcuts that often lead to no decision at all. Brain scans show the pattern. The part that weighs options goes into overdrive. The part that generates satisfaction shuts down. You literally work harder and feel worse about any choice you make. This creates what psychologists call anticipated regret, the fear that you'll pick wrong when so many alternatives exist. Abundance turns a simple purchase into an anxiety-inducing optimization problem with no clear solution. Dating apps create the same overload. Your brain evolved to choose between maybe 20 partners in a small community. Now it faces hundreds of profiles in an hour. You start scrolling. Each face sparks the same thought. Maybe someone better is next. Sarah seems nice, but what about the next profile? Jessica has interesting hobbies, but maybe someone even more compatible is one swipe away. So you keep scrolling, searching for perfect in an endless stream of options. Hours pass. You've seen hundreds of possibilities, yet contacted none of them. Abundance convinces you that choosing anyone means settling. Even when you do match, research shows you'll feel less satisfied than someone who only saw a handful of options. The more options you face, the less peace you feel with the one you pick. The choice paradox breaks your decision-making. It also changes you If you keep changing, are you the same person you were yesterday, last year, a decade ago? Much of your body is constantly renewing itself. Skin and blood cells turn over quickly. Liver cells can take years. Even the atoms in your tissues are exchanged at different speeds. The physical you of 10 years ago isn't made of the exact same materials as the you today. This is the Ship of Theseus paradox applied to your own existence. And it's been breaking philosophers' brains for over 2,000 years. The original paradox goes like this. Theseus owns a wooden ship. Over many years of sailing, individual planks rot and get replaced. The mast breaks and gets swapped for a new one. The sail tears and gets stitched with new cloth. Eventually, every single original piece has been replaced. Is it still the same ship? Your intuition probably says yes. It's been continuously maintained and used by the same owner. The ship's function and identity persisted through gradual change. But here's where the logic starts to loop back on itself. Imagine someone collected all the discarded original planks, the old mast, the torn sail. They rebuild Theseus's ship exactly as it was originally constructed, using only the original materials. Now, which ship is the real Ship of Theseus? The continuously maintained one made of entirely new materials? Or the reconstructed one made from all the original parts? Both answers seem equally valid. Both answers also seem to contradict each other. This is what makes it a true paradox. Logical reasoning leads to impossible conclusions. Your personal identity faces this same contradiction. The physical you from 2017 no longer exists. Your red blood cells lasted 120 days. Your skin cells replace themselves every few weeks. Even brain neurons, once thought permanent, show evidence of renewal throughout your lifetime. Think about your old journal entries, text messages, or social media posts from 5 years ago. Reading them feels like archaeological excavation of a stranger's mind. That person had different goals, different fears, different ways of understanding the world. They were worried about things that don't even occur to you now. They held opinions you now find embarrassing. Yet you remember being that person. You have a continuous narrative connecting current you to past you to childhood you. But which version is the real you? Maybe memories create continuity? But neuroscience shows that memories change every time you recall them. They're reconstructed, not replayed like video files. Each remembering alters the memory itself. Your childhood memories aren't recordings. They're stories your brain tells itself, edited and updated with each telling. Perhaps personality maintains identity, but personality changes dramatically over time. The traits that define you at 20 will shift significantly by 40. Research shows people become more conscientious and agreeable with age, while openness to new experiences often decreases. The ambitious risk-taker you are now might become the cautious planner you'll be later. The Ship of Theseus unveils that continuous identity might be your brain's most elaborate illusion. Like vision creates seamless sight despite blind spots, memory might create seamless self despite constant change. This paradox destroys long-term planning. When you set 10-year goals, which version of yourself are you planning for? Current you with today's values and priorities? Or future you who will have fundamentally different interests and perspectives? People consistently underestimate how much they'll change. We plan our futures as if we'll always have the same preferences, but the person who achieves your goals might not even want them anymore. The paradox also explains why relationships struggle over time. You fall in love with someone specific, their sense of humor, their ambitions, their way of seeing the world. But both of you are changing continuously. The person you married 5 years ago might share only memories and a name with the person sitting across from you today. Yet something persists through all this change. You recognize yourself in baby photos, despite looking completely different. You feel continuity with your past self, despite thinking differently. The Ship of Theseus paradox suggests there might be no answer to what makes you you. Identity might be a useful fiction rather than a discoverable fact. You're neither the same person you always were, nor completely different from who you used to be. You're a ship continuously rebuilding itself while sailing through time. Never quite the same vessel, but never entirely new either. If slow change can blur who you are, what happens when you tamper with time? Could you erase your own existence? What if you could travel back and meet that previous version of yourself? Would you even recognize each other as the same person? And more disturbing still, could you accidentally erase your own existence without even realizing it? Let's assume you build a time machine and meet your grandfather before he has children. Somehow, on purpose or by accident, you prevent him from meeting your grandmother. That means your parent would never be born. And if your parent never exists, then neither do you. But if you don't exist, who was it that went back in time in the first place? This creates a logical knot. You both exist and don't exist at the same time. Origin and outcome twist into a loop. The loop has no exit. This is the grandfather paradox. We understand reality through cause and effect. You drop a ball, it falls. You flip a switch, the light turns on. Cause happens first. Effect follows after in orderly sequence. But time travel creates situations where effect and cause chase each other in impossible circles. The timeline becomes a loop with no beginning point to establish sequence. Every time travel story in movies struggles with this paradox. Back to the Future tries to solve it with fading from existence. You slowly disappear as the timeline changes. Terminator creates alternate timelines. Changes create parallel universes instead of overwriting the original. Harry Potter uses closed time loops, where everything already happened exactly as it was supposed to happen. None of these solutions actually resolve the logical contradiction. They just relocate the problem to a different conceptual framework. Physicists and philosophers have proposed several ways out. One is the consistency principle. In this view, the timeline protects itself. You can't change the past in a way that prevents your own existence. Whatever you do simply becomes part of history. Maybe you bump into your grandfather, but events still line up so your parents, and eventually you, come to be. Reality enforces its own guardrails. Another idea is the multiverse theory. Here, altering the past doesn't erase your timeline, it creates a new one. If you stop your grandparents from meeting, you split into a parallel universe where you're never born, while your original timeline continues. This avoids contradiction but raises deeper questions. How many universes exist? And what does that mean for choice and free will? And finally, some argue the simplest answer. Backward time travel just isn't possible. Time can stretch and bend. We see that near black holes, but it can't fold in ways that break causality. So what do we take from all this? The grandfather paradox exposes the illusion of control. It reminds us that no matter how much we regret the past, we can't rewrite it. What we can do is reshape how we interpret it and how it guides the choices we make now. The paradox leaves us with a humbling truth. The past is fixed, but the present is alive with possibility. We don't need a time machine to change our story. We need perspective. So the next time you catch yourself wishing, "If only I could go back," remember the grandfather paradox. Even if you could, the result might be stranger than you imagine. The wiser move is to take it as a reminder. The past is sealed, but the future is wide open. You don't need time travel to encounter causation loops in daily life. Bank-run predictions can cause the bank runs they predict. Stock market crash forecasts can trigger the selling that causes crashes. Election polls showing a candidate winning can change voter behavior and alter the outcome they were measuring. The act of predicting the future changes the future, which changes whether the prediction was accurate in the first place. Quantum physicists take this paradox seriously because their equations suggest time travel might actually be possible at microscopic scales. But every proposed solution creates new logical problems. The multiple timeline theory suggests infinite universes spawn from every time travel event, creating infinite copies of yourself, making infinite different choices. This solves the paradox by making it irrelevant. You can't change your own timeline because you're creating new ones instead. The Novikov self-consistency principle proposes that the universe automatically prevents paradoxes by making them impossible to create. If you try to kill your grandfather, something will always stop you. Your gun jams, you miss, you chicken out. The universe protects its own timeline through cosmic intervention. The grandfather paradox connects to every decision you make right now. If the future influences the past and the past determines the future, when do you actually decide anything? Your choice to continue reading was influenced by everything that happened before this moment. But this moment was also influenced by future moments that haven't occurred yet, including your emotional reaction to learning about this paradox. Time itself might not work the way you imagine. Past, present, and future might be more like a landscape you can walk through rather than a river flowing in one direction. The grandfather paradox shows that causation can create impossible loops. But motion has its own mathematical problems that are just as strange. Let's suppose you're standing 10 feet away from a wall. You want to walk over and touch it. Here's what should happen according to math. Before you can reach the wall, you have to get halfway there first, 5 feet. But before you can walk those 5 feet, you have to get halfway to that point, 2.5 feet. And before that, 1.25 feet. And before that, 5/8 of a foot. You can keep dividing the distance forever. There's always another halfway point you have to reach first. So mathematically, you should never be able to start walking at all. You'd be stuck forever trying to complete the first tiny fraction of movement. But obviously, you just walk over and touch the wall, no problem. This is Zeno's paradox. Math says motion is impossible. Your daily experience says motion happens constantly. Modern mathematics tries to solve this with something called limits. If you add up all those infinite distances, 5 feet plus 2.5 feet plus 1.25 feet plus 5/8 of a foot, and so on, they equal exactly 10 feet total. The infinite steps add up to a finite distance. This discovery was so important it created an entire new type of math called calculus. And calculus is everywhere in your daily life. Look at your car's speedometer. Right now it shows your exact speed, maybe 45 miles per hour. But think about what that means. Speed is distance divided by time. To measure speed, you need to travel some distance over some period of time, but right now has no duration. There's no time passing in an instant. So how can you have speed right now? This is Zeno's paradox in your dashboard. Mathematically, instantaneous speed should be impossible. Yet your speedometer shows it constantly. Here's how it works. Your car's computer measures how far you travel in 1 second, then calculates your speed. Then it measures how far you travel in half a second and recalculates, then a quarter second, then 1/8 of a second. The shorter the time period, the more accurate your right now speed becomes. The computer takes this process to the limit, imagining infinitely short time periods to get your exact instantaneous speed. Your GPS does this too. So does your fitness tracker when it shows your running pace. Every time you check how fast you're moving right now, you're seeing calculus solve Zeno's ancient paradox in real time. The 2,000-year-old puzzle about walking to a wall now lives in your pocket, calculating your speed, tracking your location, and powering the apps you use every day. Zeno thought he was proving motion was impossible. Instead, he discovered the mathematical foundation for the modern world. But motion becomes even stranger when you start moving really, really fast. From impossible steps to elastic time, Einstein discovered that speed doesn't just get you from place to place faster. Speed actually changes time itself, not your perception of time, actual time. The universe runs a different speed for you depending on how fast you're moving. This sounds like science fiction, but it's measured reality. And it creates a paradox so disturbing that when Einstein first proposed it, physicists thought he'd lost his mind. What if I told you that you could travel to the future right now? That you could leave Earth, come back, and find that decades have passed while you were gone for what felt like days? And that this isn't theoretical. We've measured it happening to people who fly in airplanes. Imagine you have an identical twin. You're both 25 years old. Your twin stays on Earth while you board a spaceship that travels at 90% the speed of light to a distant star. The journey to the star and back takes you 2 years of your personal time. You experience 730 days. You eat 2,190 meals. You sleep 730 nights. From your perspective inside the spaceship, everything feels completely normal. You return to Earth expecting to reunite with your twin, who should also be 27 years old now. Instead, you find your twin is about 30 years old. About 4.6 years have passed on Earth, while you experienced only 2 years. You've jumped 2.6 years into Earth's future. This is the twin paradox. And it's not science fiction. It's a measured consequence of Einstein's theory of relativity, confirmed by atomic clocks on airplanes, GPS satellites, and particle accelerators. Time literally runs slower when you move faster. We're talking about actual physical reality. Your clocks, your aging, your biological processes all genuinely slow down. Here's where it becomes paradoxical. From your perspective in the spaceship, Earth was the one moving away from you at 90% light speed. So shouldn't time have slowed down for Earth instead? Shouldn't your twin be the younger one when you return? Both perspectives seem equally valid. You see Earth moving away at incredible speed. Your twin sees you moving away at incredible speed. Special relativity says time should slow down for whoever is moving. But who's actually moving? For decades, physicists couldn't explain this contradiction. The math seemed to suggest that both twins should be younger than each other when reunited, which is logically impossible. The resolution involves acceleration. To leave Earth, travel to the star, and return, you must accelerate, decelerate, and accelerate again. Your twin never accelerates. They remain in a single reference frame the entire time. The periods of acceleration break the symmetry. During these phases, you experience time differently than someone in constant motion. The acceleration phases account for the age difference. But this creates a new puzzle. If tiny accelerations during airplane flights can create measurable time differences, why don't you notice time dilation in your daily life? You actually do experience it constantly, just at unnoticeable levels. When you drive to work, time runs slightly slower for you than for people standing still. When you take an elevator up a tall building, time runs slightly faster due to weaker gravity. Your head ages faster than your feet because it's farther from Earth's gravitational center. These effects are measured in nanoseconds, but they're real. GPS satellites must correct for time dilation, or they'd be off by miles within hours. The atomic clocks on satellites run faster than identical clocks on Earth's surface. The twin paradox shows that time isn't universal. There's no cosmic clock ticking at the same rate everywhere. Past, present, and future aren't fixed categories. They depend on how fast you're moving and where you are in gravitational fields. This destroys our intuitive understanding of simultaneity. When you say something is happening right now on a distant planet, that statement has no meaning. Your now depends on your motion through space. The paradox also raises questions about personal identity. The traveling twin has lived through fewer moments, experienced fewer thoughts, and had less subjective time to develop and change. Are they the same age as their earthbound twin, or younger in some fundamental sense? If you could travel to the future through time dilation, would you still be the same person when you returned? Your brain would have fewer neural firings, fewer memories, less accumulated experience. You'd be stepping into a future where everyone you knew had lived more life than you. This changes everything about time, the dimension we use to measure change, growth, and existence itself isn't what we think it is. It's not a river flowing at constant speed. It's more like a landscape with hills and valleys, where the speed of passage depends on where you're standing and how fast you're moving. The twins both live real lives, but they experience different amounts of time passing. The universe allows both of their experiences to be true at the same time, even though it seems like only one of them can be right about how much time passed. They're both actually right. The twin paradox shows that time itself bends and stretches depending on how fast you move. Two people can live the same moments, but experience completely different amounts of time passing. Reality is flexible in ways that should be impossible. This flexibility makes you wonder, if the universe can accommodate such strange contradictions about time, what other impossible things might it be hiding? Consider this strange possibility. Right now, as you sit here learning about paradoxes, there should be millions of civilizations across the galaxy doing the exact same thing. Advanced beings on distant planets should be discovering mathematics, building telescopes, sending signals into space. The numbers are overwhelming. The evidence is undeniable. Intelligent life should be everywhere. So why do we hear only silence? We've been listening to the cosmos for over 60 years. We've scanned thousands of star systems. We've looked for radio signals, laser pulses, massive engineering projects that would be visible from light years away. We found nothing, not a whisper, not a trace. The universe gives us two equally terrifying possibilities. Either we are completely alone in an impossibly vast cosmos, or something is systematically silencing every civilization before they can make contact. In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi was having lunch with colleagues when the conversation turned to UFOs and the possibility of alien life. After listening to the discussion, Fermi asked a simple question. Where is everybody? The math suggests the universe should be teeming with intelligent life. Our galaxy alone contains over 100 billion stars. Many of these stars have planets. Many of these planets exist in the habitable zone, where liquid water can exist. Even if intelligent life is incredibly rare, say it develops around only one star in a billion, our galaxy should still host over 100 intelligent civilizations. And that's just our galaxy. The observable universe contains over 100 billion galaxies. Astronomer Frank Drake created an equation to estimate how many communicating civilizations should exist in our galaxy. Even using conservative estimates for factors like the rate of star formation and the likelihood of life developing, the numbers suggest thousands of detectable civilizations should be broadcasting signals right now. We should be swimming in alien radio chatter, laser communications, and evidence of massive engineering projects. Instead, we hear only silence. This silence becomes more disturbing when you consider the age of the universe. Our solar system is about 4.6 billion years old, but the universe is 13.8 billion years old. There was plenty of time for civilizations to develop billions of years before Earth even existed. If intelligent life develops naturally from the laws of physics and chemistry, then older civilizations should have had a massive head start. They should have colonized the galaxy by now. Even traveling at just 1% of light speed, a civilization could spread to every star system in the galaxy within 10 million years. A blink of an eye in cosmic time. Yet we see no evidence of galactic engineering projects, no signs of stellar manipulation, no obvious artifacts of ancient technology. The galaxy appears pristine and untouched by intelligence. This is the Fermi Paradox. The contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and our complete lack of evidence for it. Several explanations have been proposed, each more unsettling than the last. Maybe there's a great filter, a catastrophic event or impossible challenge that stops almost all life from reaching advanced civilization. Think of evolution like a video game with increasingly difficult levels. Most players get stuck and can't progress further. The great filter could be the jump from simple cells to complex cells, a step so unlikely that it happens only once per galaxy. Or it could be developing intelligence, avoiding self-destruction through nuclear war, or climate collapse, or successfully spreading beyond your home planet. Are we one of the rare species that already passed through the great filter, making us incredibly special? Or is it still ahead of us, waiting to eliminate our civilization like it eliminated countless others before us? If we're approaching it, our future might be very short indeed. Maybe intelligent civilizations routinely destroy themselves before achieving interstellar travel. Nuclear war, climate collapse, artificial intelligence gone wrong, bioengineered pandemics. The same intelligence that enables space travel also enables self-destruction. Maybe advanced civilizations deliberately stay quiet. This is the dark forest hypothesis. The idea that the universe is like a dark forest where every civilization is a hunter. Making noise reveals your location to potential threats, so survival requires perfect silence. Maybe we're living in a zoo or nature preserve, carefully isolated and observed by advanced civilizations who maintain a policy of non-interference. We're the equivalent of uncontacted tribes, studied but not approached. Maybe intelligence naturally turns inward rather than outward. Perhaps sufficiently advanced civilizations find virtual worlds and simulated realities more appealing than exploring physical space. Why colonize harsh planets when you can create perfect digital universes? Or maybe we are alone. Maybe the chain of events that led to intelligent life on Earth, the right star, the right planet, the right distance, the right moon, the right magnetic field, the right atmosphere, the right sequence of evolutionary accidents, is so improbable that it happened only once in the observable universe. Each possibility is disturbing in its own way. If we're alone, then consciousness, art, music, literature, and love are singular accidents in an otherwise empty cosmos. When humanity ends, the universe returns to mindless physics and chemistry. If we're not alone but everyone stays silent, then intelligence might be fundamentally paranoid and hostile. The cosmos might be filled with civilizations so terrified of each other that contact becomes impossible. If civilizations routinely self-destruct, then our future looks grim. We might be approaching the same filter that destroyed countless others before us. The Fermi Paradox makes every human achievement simultaneously meaningless and precious. If we're alone, our art and science and love don't matter on a cosmic scale. But they're also the only art and science and love that will ever exist. If we're not alone, then making contact might be the most important thing our species ever does, or the last. We keep listening because the alternative, accepting cosmic loneliness, is too terrible to contemplate. Every SETI project, every space mission, every telescope scanning distant stars is an act of hope against mathematical evidence. The silence continues. The question remains: are we alone, or are we just not hearing the whispers in the cosmic dark? Either answer changes everything about what it means to be human. Your brain evolved to navigate a world of medium-sized objects, moving at moderate speeds over short distances. Trees, rocks, predators, prey. Things that stay put when you're not looking at them. cause and effect in clear sequence, time flowing steadily forward. But the universe operates on principles your brain was never designed to understand. Logic leads to contradictions. Mathematics describes impossibilities. Our capacity of understanding says that shouldn't exist. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to humble you, to remind you that reality is far stranger and more wonderful than your daily experience suggests. To show you that the ordinary world is actually extraordinary, filled with impossible things that somehow work perfectly. The people who navigate life best aren't those who demand consistency from an inconsistent universe. They're those who learn to dance with contradictions instead of fighting them, who choose imperfectly, change gracefully, move confidently through mathematical impossibilities, embrace time's flexibility, and listen hopefully to cosmic silence. Your existence is the universe's greatest paradox. You shouldn't be here at all. The odds against your birth are astronomical. Yet here you are, a pattern of organized matter that somehow became aware of itself, capable of contemplating the very contradictions that make your awareness possible. You are simultaneously insignificant and precious, temporary and eternal, logical and impossible. You are a walking, breathing, thinking paradox in a reality built from paradoxes. And somehow, impossibly, it all works. For all the paradoxes of the cosmos, nothing shapes your choices, your identity, and your future more than love. Why? Find out in this video. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to The Opening on YouTube or on Spotify. And let me know in the comments what I should talk about next.